Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're so glad you're tuning in. Today we're doing something a bit special, a customized look at real estate activity right there in Toledo. We're focusing on the week of September 12th through September 18th, 2025.
That's right. And we know you appreciate clarity, so we're going to walk through everything nice and slow. We'll make sure to mention the seller's name, the property address, and importantly, a nearby cross street, just to help you picture where things are.
Exactly. We want this to be really easy to follow. So, based on the reports you shared, this story seems to be about a surprisingly quiet historic center, but lots of activity buzzing around it.
A contrast, definitely.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Starting with the area you specifically asked about, the beautiful Old West End. That's zip code 43620. Looking at the records for that week, September 12th to the 18th. Well, it turns out things were very, very quiet there.
Yeah, really still.
We can confirm, based on the source material, there were actually 0 homes sold to new owners in the Old West End neighborhood during that specific time frame.
Not at all.
Which is interesting, isn't it? For such a sought-after historic area, does a week with no sales mean anything significant, you think? Like maybe interest is down?
That's a fair question. But usually, in a place like the Old West End, a zero-sale week isn't really about lack of interest. It's more often about inventory, just not many homes coming up for sale.
Oh.
People who live there tend to stay put. So when something does list, it often gets snapped up quickly, maybe just not within that specific 7-day window we looked at. So think of it more like a pause,
Got it. A pause in available homes, not interest. Makes sense.
Exactly. But if you looked just nearby, the market was active. People were definitely finding homes in the neighboring areas like Old Orchard and West Toledo. That's mostly the zip code 43606.
Okay, so let's talk about those. We saw 3 sales right there in 43606. The first one was sold by the Chrysotus family. The address is 3731 Manchester Boulevard, and if you're picturing it, that's right near Parkwood Avenue.
Right near Parkwood. And that one sold for $220,000.
$220,000. Okay. Then, moving just a little bit northwest, still in 43606, there was a sale by Narissa Alexander. That address is 3530 Devon Hill Road.
Devon Hill, yes.
And the cross street there is Cheltenham Road. That helps place it.
Cheltenham.
And the price for that one, $215,000.
$215,000. So pretty close to the Manchester sale.
Yeah, very close. And then the third one we noted in that area, 43606, was from Peggy Arnos. She sold her home at 3655 Woodley Road, and Woodley Road is right near Drummond Road.
Woodley near Drummond. Got it.
This one was a bit higher in price. It went for $350,000.
$350,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely activity happening just outside the Old West End itself.
Absolutely. A busy week for buyers in 43606.
Now let's shift gears a bit. From individual homes to, well, the really big deals, the kind of thing that affects the whole city's infrastructure. We're talking about commercial real estate here.
Right.
And just for clarity, when we say commercial real estate, we just mean property used for business. So like a store, an office, a warehouse, not a house someone lives in this case, gas stations.
Okay. And there was some major news on that front this week.
Yeah, huge news, actually.
Folk Oil Company, which operates as Toledo 76 Inc., they sold a number of their PS Food Mart locations.
That's right. They sold them to S&G convenience stores.
And looking at the numbers, wow, the total amount just for the 5 main Toledo properties mentioned in the report was $13.4 million.
$13.4 million, yeah. That's a significant investment.
It really is. What does that kind of money signal?
Well, it signals real confidence in the Toledo market, especially for, essential businesses like gas stations and convenience stores. It's not a small transaction. It shows S&G is making a major long-term bet on the area.
I see. So if you start seeing changes at some of these local gas stations, new signs, maybe different branding.
Exactly. This big acquisition is likely the reason why.
Okay. So which locations are we talking about?
Let's walk through the 5 locations that were part of that $13.4 million deal. We can group them geographically to make it easier to track.
Good idea.
Okay, starting in South Toledo, that's zip code 43614. There's a station at 47 Mukine, South Detroit Avenue. That one's near Copland Boulevard.
Got it. South Detroit near Copland.
Then there's a cluster over at East Toledo, all in the 43605 zip code. 3 locations there.
3 in East Toledo.
Okay, first is 1540 Front Street. That's here, Consall Street.
Front near Consall.
Second is 1625 Miami Street, which is close to Oregon Road.
Miami near Oregon.
And the third one in East Toledo is 1896 Front Street. This one's right by the I-280 bridge, so very visible.
Okay, right by the bridge. Easy to picture.
And the 5th location in this big deal takes us up north to Point Place. Zip code 43611. That's the station at 5432 North Summit Street, near 131st Street.
North Summit near 131st. All right, so they really spread that investment across the city.
They really did. South, east, north. A clear sign of widespread business confidence.
Okay, so now, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Let's look at the top end of the residential market for the week. These are the 3 most expensive homes that sold, according to the records, outside the main city limits. Shows what's happening in the suburbs.
The luxury market.
Yeah.
And the #1 sale this week was, wow, quite something. It was out in Perrysburg. The sellers were Todd and Barbara Finley,
Okay.
and the address is 510 Riverside Drive. That's near Louisiana Avenue in Perrysburg. Beautiful spot.
Riverside Drive near Louisiana Ave. And the price, it must have been high.
It was the highest for the week. It sold for $1,300,000.
Wow. $1,300,000.
Exactly. $1,300,000.
A major sale.
Okay, what was number 2?
Number 2 is incredibly close in price. This one was in Sylvania.
Pennsylvania, okay.
The sellers were Gunnar and Catherine Smith, and they sold their home at 4702 Towpath Lane,
Towpath Lane.
which is near River Road in Sylvania.
Got it. Towpath near River Road. And the price there?
Just barely under the top one. $1,295,000. $1,295,000. Still very high end. 2 sales over $1.2 million in 1 week.
Definitely shows strength in that segment. And the third highest sale takes us back to Perrysburg.
Back to Perrysburg, okay.
This one was a bit different, though. It was a new construction home, sold by the builder, Buckeye Real Estate Group.
Ah, brand new.
Yep. The address is 139 Valley Hall Drive, and that's also located near River Road.
Valley Hall Drive near River Road. And the price for a new build there?
That one closed at $484,625.
$484,625. Still a significant price, rounding out the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to put this all together. What's the main takeaway from this week, September 12th to 18th? We saw, like you said, a very quiet week right in the heart of the Old West End. 0 sales recorded there.
Right, but pause.
But the areas right next door, like Old Orchard and 43606, were busy. People were buying homes there.
Definitely active residentially.
And then commercially, we saw this huge $13.4 million investment in gas stations across the city.
Yeah, big corporate money showing confidence.
So even though the Old West End itself was quiet that particular week, the activity all around it, both residential and commercial, seems pretty strong.
I think that's exactly right, and it touches on something important, you know. We know how much you care about the Old West End's stability, seeing the neighboring communities thriving, and seeing major businesses invest millions across Toledo. Well, it really reinforces that the underlying health of the whole area is strong.
That makes sense.
That quiet week in 43620 was likely just a blip, a moment where inventory was tight rather than any kind of worrying trend. The broader picture looks quite robust.
That's a really helpful perspective. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your sources and letting us take this deep dive with you today. We really enjoy exploring the details that matter to you and your community.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
We'll talk again soon.